Hi everyone, welcome along. If you've got a combination boiler, then you know the problems that are entailed with trying to fill inhibitor into the system. Because it's sealed and you haven't got a little roof tank in the loft to put your inhibitor in, the only way you can do it is through a radiator. Now it can be a bit messy doing that little job, but if you need to do it, you know, it's got to be done. And to that end, I've been sent this little tool. That's it there, called Easy Fill. And as you can see, the idea of this tool is to screw into the side of the radiator and pour your inhibitor in. Alright, so I've got to do this one here. I'm going to put some cleaner in because it needs some cleaner in this system. So I'm going to do it for this radiator behind me, and we'll take you through the job. So why would you use one of these? Well, the alternative, believe me, is a bit messy. It's usually a fitting, a malline fitting I use, screwed into the radiator with a bit of copper tube hanging out of it. Then I push a bit of hose pipe on the end of the bit of copper tube, and then on the end of that hose pipe I stick a funnel, and the whole thing kind of flops all over the place, and then you're trying to pour it in, and I guarantee you end up with more of the liquid on the floor than you do in the radiator. So this, believe me, is quite a good little tool. Okay, now I do suggest draining the system right out when you put cleaner or any inhibitor in, really. But if you're worried about getting airlocks and things like that, then you can obviously just shut the radiator off and do it through the radiator and just put it in and not empty the whole lot out. But I do suggest emptying it already, but just for showing you how to do it wise, I'm going to just drain this radiator and show you how to put it in by this method. Shut that end off, and then when you come around to the lock shield end, on this particular one it's got a wheel valve on it, but if it hasn't, it'll just have a thread sticking up like that, and get pliers on it and just turn it down till it's off. And with this one, don't forget that you've got to remember how many turns that you turn it off. I'll get this top back on. It's always typical when you take it off, isn't it? Typical it won't go back on. Right, and it's back on. So just remember how many turns on this one. It's 2. Okay, so when you turn it back on, it's 2 turns back. That's to make sure that the system stays balanced, because if it's been balanced and you turn it more than whatever it is turned down to, so in my case it's 2, you could unbalance your central heating system and end up with cold rads here and hot there and a bit of a mess. So it's just a very important little tip, that one, about the balancing. Alright, with that said, what we've got to do now is undo one of the nuts on the union, and we'll start it running into a bowl or a receptacle or whatever you've got till the rad's empty. Okay, it should start to run. You might be lucky and have a radiator valve that's got a drain cock on it as well, in which case you won't have to do all this. Now we'll just go a little bit like that to begin with, and then probably slow down. The best thing to do after this now is to open the air vent on the other end of the radiator. That will let the air in and allow the water to come out. So I'm going to open the other end, the air key end, and let air in, and that will help speed it out at the end. And once you've got it running, just open this key, okay, and let the air in. Once you let the air in, it will run out a lot faster. But now we've just got to wait until enough's drained out. As I say, normally drain the whole system when you add inhibitor. It is the best thing, really. But I'm just doing it this way to show you, really, just get enough out. I don't really need it, but I've had a boiler change, so I'm going to put some cleaner in and just clean the system for a week, so I'm just going to put it in. But my system is actually all cleaned out. It's quite good. But this is for you, some things I do for you. So if you have got to drain the whole system, which, as I say, I do prefer you do that, just look for your drain valve like this one. And this is the one that would be nice and easy to fill with that eco filler system to put your furnace in, so I could drain the radiator with that. But also, that's my drain valve for the whole system. Empty it all out, open all the radiator valves, let the air go in, and empty everything out, and turn it off, and then add your inhibitor. But of course, if you haven't got that sort of valve, you still got to fill it through a radiator anyway. So that's why I'm showing you that one upstairs there in the bathroom. We'll pretend we haven't got one of those. Right, we're all empty now, so don't forget, first thing, tighten this back up. Spanner on there and tighten it up, hold against there and give it a nudge. Okay, that's it, she's back tight again. Now we're ready to put the inhibitor or cleaner into the system. Right, as you can see, I've taken the side panel off for easy access. They just ping off. Okay, get a spanner, and it doesn't matter whether it's the bleed one or the square plug, doesn't matter which one. Just undo it, take it out. Okay, and a salt there. Now we get our easy fill. We have it here. It literally just screws in. You can do it by hand. It does say you can do it by hand. It's a bit stiff, but it will go in by hand. You can also use the spanner if you prefer. So it doesn't need any PTFE thread or stuff like that on the thread there. PTFE tape, I should say. Just screw it in like that. That'll be enough. That'll be good enough. If you're not sure, just put the spanner on it and give it an extra nudge. You can give it an extra turn. It doesn't matter. You want to really hold it tight in there like that. Okay, now we're ready to pour our fluid in. So here we are. We're going to pour our system cleaner in. Our thing's in place here, and it's nice and stiff there, so it's not going to fall away or fall down like that. So it's good that you can do it at an angle like that if you want. So I'm going to need it straight in. So let's pour it in nice and slowly. It's all going in.
So that's going in, but it can't come out the other end because you've tightened the nuts up.
That's right, so I've tightened it off. And obviously if you drain your system completely, then make sure the drain valve is shut off, okay, before you go putting this in, or otherwise it will go straight out.
Right. So that's all just going to sit in that radiator, and then what happens?
Well, once your central heating pump comes on, if you've only done it this way, just into a radiator, it will all get pumped around the system. Don't worry about it not going, it will get pumped around. You can hear the air bubbling there as that stuff goes in. Have a look down there. There you are, it's all going in. Letting the air up and letting the fluid in. That's about it really.
So how much cleaner do you need to put in then?
A lot.
All
Whole bottom.
Alright.
Yeah. That bit's gone, let's put some more in. Finish it off. So that bit's all gone in.
Are there different size bottles of cleaner for different systems, or?
No. Some are more concentrated, so you get little bottles like this. You can get a bottle of Fernox MB1, which is a big gallon bottle, so it depends on the concentrate of the liquid that you're putting in. But generally, about this size, half a litre. That's it. Wait for that to finish in, and we're ready. We'll put it back. Right, well it's all in there now, so we can take our easy fill out. I'll give it a little extra nip with a spanner in the end. I think it was sort of held it a little bit tighter, I think. But obviously you can take it out by hand. So, put our cap back.
So you've got to tighten that back up then?
Tighten this back up. Okay, it's back on. We're done. We've already tightened the joint over there. Turn our radiator valve back on. Don't forget, the one that was the lock shield, turn it the same amount of turns that you turned it off by. In my case it was 2 turns like that. That one's on, and then just turn the other end on. The ordinary valve, this one's a thermostatic. You might have just a twist valve, but turn it on. We're now ready now. You can hear the air coming out the vent. So we'll let that bleed. There might be a little bit of pressure there, there might not be, depends how much pressure you add in your system. If it fades away, then we just need to turn it off and go down to the boiler and put some more pressure in. Obviously if you drain the whole system, you will have to shut this off first, put some pressure into the system, about 1.5 bar, and then start bleeding all the radiators. Now that's not enough there, so I've obviously got to put a bit more pressure in. I can tell that there's not enough pressure there, that's a very low. Oh, it has made it, there we go. It is there, you can see it, so we're okay. But even so, I'm going to go down and repressurise it back to between 1 and 1.5 bars. And as you can see, the pressure's dropped because we've emptied the radiator, and obviously if you empty the whole system, you've got to pressurise it all anyway, so it's fairly simple. I've shown you a video on how to do the filling loop before now. Here's our filling loop. Okay, just turn one on, okay, and then with the other valve we'll start filling. So turn that one on, you hear the water going in, have a look at your valve, your little gauge up there. There it is, see it going up. I'm going to take it up to about 1.5 bars, or 1.25 bars I like, somewhere in between. You can hear it going in there, and we're about there now, that's where I like it, so we'll shut her off there. Okay, we'll shut that one off, shut the other one off, so they're locked. And if you only drained the radiator, then that's all you need to do. But if you drain the whole system, you've got to go around now and bleed every radiator. And as you do them, that gauge will keep dropping off. You'll have to come back and repeat the process until they're all done. Anyway, that's it from me. All my videos, you know where to go. Usual place, Derrick 33. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.